All right. The minutes of the meeting has been confirmed by President Rotarian Mr. Lal Goel. And we do have a new member with us who has joined for the first time. So, Mr. I think
Yeah,
we lost him.
Mr. Divakar Singh is there. So, Mr. Divakar Singh, just unmute yourself, please.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Divakar Singh, just introduce about you. Give your introduction.
Thank you very much, sir, and thank you to the entire team for bringing me to this meeting today. And I am basically working at Kolkata, and I work with a steel manufacturing company, MSP Steel and Power Limited. I work as AGM HR here, and I'm basically from the state of Bihar. My family resides in Faridabad in NCR, while I am a first bachelor here in Kolkata. So this is somewhat my introduction. So I'm an MBA HR in 2006 and 17 years post-qualification experience I have.
Wonderful. That's
welcome, Divakar Singh ji. And I will just add here that I met Mr. Singh at Raj Bhavan, Kolkata, when we had a global energy parliament. He was also a delegate there, and he also spoke on the issues. Very brilliant youngster, I must say. And I was quite impressed. And when I told him that why not you come and join, and you will find something new. So for the first time he's joining. So welcome, Mr. Singh.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much. Love you,
Over
sir.
to you.
Very nice to have you, Mr. Divakar. Welcome to Rotary Club of Organ Donation International. All right, moving on, I would request Rotarian Dr. Rohan Monis to please come forward and give a presentation regarding importance of kidney donation. I'm going to just enable screen sharing for you, and then you will be able to share the screen. So it has been enabled. You can now share your screen, Mr. Monis.
Can you see it now, Ritika?
Not yet.
Sorry, we haven't been able to see your screen as yet. Please share. You'll have to click on the option of share, which is in green on your Zoom screen under.
Okay, got it. Yeah, just a minute.
Yeah, just click there.
And I use desktop one, right?
Whatever screen you would like to share, just pick that screen for sharing. We can't see it as yet.
Yeah, wait.
Sure.
I think there's an issue. I don't know what's happening.
Would you like to share your presentation with me over WhatsApp? I'll see if I can share it forward.
Can I do it on email with you right now?
Yes, you can do it over email as well.
Okay, just a second.
I'll share with you my email ID.
Till the time Rotarian Dr. Monis is getting ready with the sharing thing, I would like to inform you that till date we have not received any confirmation from the Raj Bhavan Kolkata for the February conference, but we are awaiting because there are lots of political developments in India in the last 2 weeks. As you all know, there were elections and the ruling party got majorities almost in all the states. So there might be some churning or shuffling, reshuffling. So that might be one of the reasons. But expecting the confirmation by this week, the coming week, let's hope that we'll get the confirmation. So we have to, although the time will be short, but we have to work hard and see that conference will be a success. Once you are ready, just let me know. So then you can start the things.
Yes,
secondly, secondly, I would like to inform you that last time also I mentioned there were programs at Mathura, 2 programs I attended there, and I also attended one program at Noida, where I went to the university, Sharda University, and they have a medical college. They are planning to start one more medical college at Mathura, quite a big university, and they are interested to start a multi-organ donation facility or the center exclusively. They already have the building ready, everything is ready. Only things they want that we should implement the project. So it will be a very, very big project. As Dr. Monish knows that it's a very heavy expenditure, because they are planning to start even the lungs transplant, heart, liver, pancreas, everything whatsoever is possible, all the organs they want to transplant. So, and they want to associate our club for that. So that is also a big challenging project which we are planning to take now. Once things will be ready, they are now preparing the project report. So definitely, once any development will come, I will appraise you all. Yes, are you ready now?
Just a
I'm
minute,
still
sir.
to receive, actually.
I just changed it into the PPT mode. I don't know what is happening here. It is 6.
Okay.
And one more thing I can share with you, I received lots of requests from our distinguished members, and they says now the time has started for Christmas and New Year holidays. Children are on holidays, so they want that we should not keep any meeting, although I am against that. I feel that holidays are always there, but keeping, because we are in a democratic country, and I also believe in democracy. So keeping in that view, this next 2 weeks, we are not going to hold any meeting, and we will be, the first meeting will be in the first week of January. So I don't know whether it is a good news or bad news, but yes, this is keeping in mind the views expressed by many of the members, and they says that at least we must get some holidays. Why you are keeping so many meetings? But I know that my aim is very clear. Time is short. We have to do so many things for the society, and that's why we are keeping the meetings, and we want. हम इसलिए करना चाह रहे हैं क्योंकि कुछ मेरे मेंबर्स रिक्वेस्ट करते हैं, मैं हिंदी में बोलूं तो इसलिए करना चाह रहे हैं, छुट्टी रख रहे हैं कि जिससे कि वो लोग अपनी छुट्टियां आराम से मनाएं। लेकिन जनवरी से फिर मैं सोचता हूं कि हमें पूरी तरह से इसके पे जोर देना पड़ेगा, जिससे हम प्रोजेक्ट्स कंप्लीट कर सकें। बहुत प्रेशर आता है रोटरी के डिस्ट्रिक्ट से भी और ऊपर से भी कि कुछ प्रोजेक्ट आप लोगों ने अभी तक नहीं किए हैं। तो प्रोजेक्ट, क्योंकि हमारा क्लब चार्टर ही हमें 2 नवंबर को मिला है, तो इसीलिए थोड़ा सा टाइम लग रहा है। बट आई एम श्योर कि अगर हमारा एक भी प्रोजेक्ट सक्सेसफुल हो जाता है, विच आई एम होपफुल अबाउट द शारदा मेडिकल कॉलेज नोएडा, इफ वी विल सक्सीड देयर, that will be a very, very big project. लेकिन जैसे डेवलपमेंट्स आएंगे, then I will be briefing you all. Yes, कुछ हुआ है आप लोगों का?
Just one more minute. Just one more minute, and we'll be on. I'll start.
Okay. और मैं देख रहा हूँ आज काफी members जुड़े हैं in spite of yes, Dr. Sudhir Saran, I can see अशोक कुमार गौड़ जी को भी मैं देख रहा हूँ, हालांकि उनसे मेरी मुलाकात लास्ट वीक हुई थी आगरा में। और मैं एक और चीज बताना चाहता हूँ मेंबरों को कि लास्ट वीक हम एक एंगेजमेंट प्रोग्राम में थे, जहां हमारे 6 या 7 रोटरी मेंबर्स थे अपने क्लब के। हालांकि उसमें से मैं और एक और मिस्टर अविनाश भार्गव ने ज्वाइन किया। तो ये इसलिए मैं बताना चाह रहा हूँ कि चाहे हम शादी में जाएं, चाहे एंगेजमेंट में जाएं, कहीं भी जाएं, अपने क्लब की मीटिंग को नहीं मिस करना चाहिए। आई थिंक नाउ योर पीपीटी इज रेडी, सो प्लीज गो अहेड, रोटेरियन PHF Dr. Rohan S. Monish, please.
Yes. Okay, hello, good evening, everybody. Respected President, Rotarian Lal Goel ji, respected Secretary, Rotarian Ritika Gupta ji, and all the chairs and all the members of the Rotary Club of Organ Donation International. A very good evening and welcome to you. The topic given today was about the importance of organ donation. But before I go into that session, in today's session, I'm going to cover up what is the kidney, the functions of the kidney, because we need to understand the importance of this beautiful structure which we have in our body, which is called as the kidney. Conditions which lead to kidney failure or renal failure, the requirement for the renal or kidney replacement therapies, and then kidney transplant. Okay, done. Next slide, Ritika. Next one, yeah. So, yes, thank you. So the kidneys, so God has given us a pair of kidneys, and this structure is present in the abdomen. Abdomen is the part which is just below the rib cage. ठीक है, हमारे पास दो किडनीज हैं, या उसको हिंदी में गुर्दा भी बोलते हैं. ऑन द लेफ्ट हैंड साइड अगर आप उसका क्रॉस सेक्शन देखें तो बीच में जो है उसकी ब्लड की नली है. वन इज द आर्टरी, वन इज द वेन. आर्टरी है जो उसको ब्लड देता है किडनी को, एंड द ब्लू वन इज द वेन जो उससे ब्लड ड्रेन कर लेता है. ठीक है. ऑन द लेफ्ट हैंड कॉर्नर यू हैव अ क्रॉस सेक्शन ऑफ द किडनी, जहां पर किडनी को कट किया गया है, या जहां पर किडनी को कट करके जो अंदरी भाग है उसको हम दिखा रहे हैं. और किडनी के ऊपर के भाग में देयर इज अ स्मॉल ट्रायंगुलर ऑर्गन which is an endocrine organ called as the adrenal gland, जहां पर काफी सारे हार्मोन रिलीज होते हैं to maintain our blood pressures, maintain the systems in the human body. अगर आप इसी स्लाइड में राइट हैंड कॉर्नर की पिक्चर को देखें तो द किडनी का पोजिशनिंग हमारे पेट के आगे में से नहीं होता. इट इज राइट इन द बैक पार्ट, अटैच टू दी वेरी क्लोज टू दी वर्टिब्रा. नहीं तो हमारा स्पाइन जो है ना, जो बीच का पीठ का बैकबोन है, इट इज अटैच टू दैट, very closely attached to that, and right below the liver. So that is the position. हम लोग मेडिकल में बोलते हैं उसको रेट्रोपेरिटोनियल स्ट्रक्चर बोलते हैं. So we will get in the peritoneum topic later. The size of the kidney is just around 4.5-5 inches in size. ठीक है. और इसका amazing जो benefit है, this is one massive amazing organ in the body जो हमारे ब्लड को क्लीन कर लेता है, फिल्टर कर लेता है. नेक्स्ट स्लाइड कृतिका. यस. तो यहाँ पर हम लोग ने भी पता किया कि गुर्दा क्या है, गुर्दा का साइज क्या है, और व्हाट इज द सिस्टम. राइट हैंड साइड में जो आप एक सांप की तरफ देख रहे हो ना, दैट एंटायर स्ट्रक्चर इज कॉल्ड एज अ नेफ्रॉन. अभी हमारी एक किडनी में कम से कम 10 लाख नेफ्रॉन रहते हैं हमारी किडनी में. तो द बेसिक यूनिट ऑफ द किडनी इज द नेफ्रॉन. अगर हमारे नेफ्रॉन्स ठीक से काम नहीं करते, हमारा किडनी काम नहीं करेगा. हमारा किडनी काम नहीं करेगा, द ब्लड डज नॉट गेट फिल्टर्ड, द ब्लड डज नॉट गेट क्लीन. नेफ्रॉन का एक भाग है जो वहां पर, जो आपको यू सी लाइक अ स्मॉल कप शेप, जैसे मुंह की तरह आपको दिख रहा है ना, सो दैट इज कॉल्ड द ग्लोमेरुलस. वहां से क्या फिल्टर होता है, वहां से ब्लड फिल्टर होके अ लॉट ऑफ फ्लूइड गेट्स फिल्टर्ड, बट द मेन थिंग इज उसमें से हमारे बॉडी के सॉल्ट्स, सोडियम, यूरिया, क्रेटिनिन, उस भाग से फिल्टर होके उस ट्यूब में निकलता है. और जो सांप जैसा सीडी है, जैसे सांप जैसा चल रहा है ना, दैट दे कॉल इज द ट्यूब्यूल्स. उस ट्यूब्यूल्स में क्या, अगर देयर इज एक्स्ट्रा पानी अगर निकल गया तो उसका काम है पानी को सेक के रखने का बॉडी में. इट पुल्स आउट द वाटर फ्रॉम द सिस्टम एंड इट पुट्स इट बैक इनटू द ब्लड सिस्टम. तो वो उसका भाग है. अगर इन सिस्टम में से, दोनों सिस्टम में से अगर किसी भाग में अगर प्रॉब्लम निकला तो इट बिकम्स डिसफंक्शनल. वी मे पास यूरिन with a lot of water, और हमारा सॉल्ट्स बाहर नहीं जाएगा, वो हमारे रक्त में रहेगा. नहीं तो क्या, ज्यादा हम लोग सॉल्ट्स बाहर डालेंगे हमारे सिस्टम्स में से, एंड देन अदरवाइज विल बी अ लॉट ऑफ फ्लूइड. तो इनका एक्चुअली बारीकी से काम करना बहुत ही महत्व रखता है हमारे सिस्टम के लिए. नेक्स्ट स्लाइड रितिका. थैंक यू. सो हमारे फंक्शंस ऑफ द किडनी क्या है? These are the basic functions. हम लोग basically when we talk to the general public, उनका काम है to filter the blood, और blood filter करके उसको बाहर we throw it in the form of urine. ठीक है, that is removing waste products and toxins from the body. वो एक बात है. Second part is what? Maintaining appropriate fluid and electrolyte balance. इस पे क्या होता है, हमारे बॉडी के फ्लूइड्स को मेंटेन करता है. Our body has got about 4.5 to 5 liters of blood. वो हमेशा सर्कुलेट करते रहता है. अगर हमारा किडनी ब्लड को साफ नहीं करेगा तो जो कुछ टॉक्सिन्स, जो कुछ पॉइजन हमारे ब्लड में है, वो सर्कुलेट होता रहेगा हमारे सिस्टम्स में. इट कैन गो अप टू द ब्रेन आल्सो. नेक्स्ट, कंट्रोल ऑफ द प्रोडक्शन ऑफ आरबीसीज. तो हमारे रक्त में there is a component called as the red blood cells. अभी red blood cells की प्रोडक्शन करने के लिए there is a hormone called as erythropoietin. अगर किडनी ठीक तरह से काम नहीं कर रहा किसी बंदे में, erythropoietin secretion कम हो जाता है. वो कम होने से the marrow does not get stimulated to produce red blood cells, or your red blood cells will not be secreted into. So you see most of the patients who are having chronic kidney disease are anemic. जिनका किडनी का प्रॉब्लम होता है उनका अनीमिया से बहुत क्लोज संबंध रहता है. So you have to give them blood constantly. Next, produces a very active form of vitamin D. तो जिनका chronic kidney disease है, they'll have vitamin D deficiency और उनके bones भी बहुत ही हल्के रहते हैं. Releases a hormone called as renin. अभी हम लोग काफी सारे बोलते हैं like अगर BP का प्रॉब्लम है तो where do you go to? The answer is we go to a cardiologist. But ideally, if there is a blood pressure problem, it is the nephrologist who is the person of contact for any patient who has a disease called as hypertension, a chronic health disease. Helps in proper removal of drugs from the body. Whatever toxin or whatever extra fluid in the blood, these kidneys have an amazing job to filter the entire blood from the system and the toxins. Next slide, Ritika. Next one. We'll talk about renal failure and causes. Now, अगर हमारा किडनी ठीक तरह से काम नहीं कर रहा है, so it is called as renal failure. If the failure of the kidney happens within 10 to 15 days of an onset of illness, उसको बोलते हैं acute renal failure. And if this thing gets elongated over a longer period of time, like 3 to 5 months, it is called as chronic renal failure. Some थोड़े renal diseases हैं जो reversible हैं, बहुत सारे हैं जो reversible नहीं होते. They cause irreversible damages. Some renal diseases are there which are congenital. उसके बोले तो जब एक बच्चा जन्म लेता है तभी से उसका किडनी का प्रॉब्लम चालू हो जाता है. Many of the diseases which cause renal failure are because of chronic health diseases or chronic lifestyles. यहाँ पर एक there's a beautiful big list of causes for renal failure. I will touch upon a few of them. एक के बोलते हैं metabolic disorders. They call diabetes. Diabetes is the disease of the century. अभी किसी को भी छो तो, and we are the diabetic capital of the world right now, India. काफी सारे लोग को डायबिटीज है, बट अगर हम लोग बात करते हैं like how is your diabetic status? No problem, doctor. I'm sitting on 250, 300s and all. Just because he's a 35-year-old, he's sitting on 300s is a very, very bad sign. The damage has started. Obesity है, then you have something called as hypertension. What happens in hypertension? Your blood pressure is very high. Now you talk about diabetes and hypertension, it is not a kidney disease. It is a systemic disorder. It affects every part of the human body, from the brain to the toe. It affects all the systems. So we have to be careful. Renal vascular disease, I'll not touch on that part. I'll talk about briefly on immunological disorders. Immunological disorders, इसको बोलते हैं like अगर कुछ infection हो गया तो body में, तो अगर उस infection में kidney में ज़्यादा damage हो जाता है because of an immune response within the body to kill the antigen, उसको बोलते हैं immunologic disorders. इसमें kidney मार खाता है. The treatment of choice for this will be steroids by and large. One of the very common thing is infections, pyelonephritis or tuberculosis. These are the commonest infections which are seen. Pyelonephritis बोले तो हमारे गुर्दे का जो infection रहता है, it is because could be of a stone, could be of a blockage, could be of an infection of the kidney. वहाँ पर तो constant repeated infection kidney का होने से kidney काम करना बंद हो जाता है. Usually infection doesn't happen on both the kidneys, happens on one side of the kidney. तो अगर एक kidney टपक गया तो दूसरा kidney है backup करने के लिए, but you will have to anyway be very careful. Other thing is urinary tract infection. Because of urinary tract obstruction, अगर हमारे मूत्र के नाली में यहाँ पर there is a stone, or in men there is a prostate problem, it has to be addressed. Because of a reverse backflow, kidney सूजेगा, kidney सूजने से again problem हो जाता है. तो by and large, these are the lists of different diagnoses which are available presently, commonest causes of causing chronic renal failure. Next slide, please. So once we go to chronic renal failure, क्या हो जाता है? Even in an acute condition, there are some conditions which are like if it's an infectious cause, renal failure is reversible. Some places is irreversible. So even for a reversible, you have to dialyze them for 3 to 4 days. Now, what is renal replacement therapy? The process of removal of waste products and excessive fluid from the body or from the blood when the kidney stops working properly is called as dialysis or renal replacement therapy. Next slide, please. This is an artificial kidney which is almost 5.5 foot in size. On the left side of the slide, you see this is called as a dialysis machine, and the procedure which it does is called as a hemodialysis. अगर एक patient का kidney काम नहीं कर रहा है and he has to survive, he has to live, he has to be awake and walking and talking and leading a normal life, the patient has to get the blood clean. Normally what happens is हम लोग उसका यूरिया क्रेटिन चेक कर लेते हैं. Creatinine normally is within 1 to 1.25 range. Urea is within the 90s or within the 80s range. The creatinine sitting on 4 or 5 means you're slowly getting into a chronic renal failure mechanism. दूसरी बात है, किडनी काम नहीं कर रहा है, सॉल्ट्स बाहर निकल रहे हैं बट पानी बाहर नहीं निकल रहा है, because गुर्दा काम नहीं कर रहा है. So again you will have to dialyze the patient because fluid overload होने से वो पूरा पानी जाके फेफड़े में जाके बैठ जाता है. That is the lungs. So you have to do hemodialysis. Hemodialysis is a process. I'm sure many of us have heard about it. It takes about 3.5 to 4.5 hours for a session. It could be twice a week or 3 times a week for a patient who is having chronic kidney disease. Simultaneously, you have something called as peritoneal dialysis. Now, peritoneal dialysis was commonly done once upon a time, many years back. There are few centers, there are few places where it is done because of the proximity of the dialysis center not being there. अगर dialysis center घर से बहुत दूर है, so the doctor or the nephrologist will counsel or educate the patient for doing peritoneal dialysis. Now, like I said, हमारा kidney is retroperitoneal, that is besides the spine on the back side. The entire abdomen is layered by a beautiful thin sheet called as the peritoneum. Peritoneum is called as the doctor of the abdomen. अगर हमारे पेट में abdomen में अगर कुछ problem रहा तो peritoneum immediately जाके चिपक जाता है और tries to create. It's got a very strong lymph background. So what does the nephrologist do? He puts a port over there और हम लोग उसको एक fluid, because we will be using the peritoneum as an osmotic gradient, as a filter, and it fills in fluid, and because of the osmotic gradient पूरा पानी उसमें जम जाता है और 4 घंटे के बाद it empties into that brown color bag which you see down. This process is done every day. Now, peritoneal dialysis I have observed, last I saw it was about 20 years back. I've seen it because हमारे अभी Mangalore में we have a lot of dialysis centers in every nook and corner. Every center has got a dialysis machine, so it becomes very easy to access a dialysis machine. It's not difficult. But a peritoneal dialysis, suppose somebody lives about 50, 80, 100 kilometers far away from a dialysis center, then this is the respite given to them. Next slide, Ritika.
सर, मेरा एक प्रश्न है.
हाँ सर.
अभी प्रश्न इसके बाद पूछिएगा.
एक बार के बारे में पूछिए.
हाँ, किडनी का भी चलिए, किडनी के ही बारे में बात होगी. लास्ट में पूछिएगा क्वेश्चन, नहीं तो फ्लो खत्म हो जाएगा. लेट्स अंडरस्टैंड फर्स्ट, देन we will have a question answer. Yes, doctor, please go ahead.
Thank you, sir. So when you see hemodialysis, I'll be saying because अभी शहरों में hemodialysis is a very commonest treatment given for patients having chronic kidney disease. अभी अगर देखा जाए तो बीच का जो part है is a dialyzer. This is the main important structure within the entire dialysis mechanism, wherein वहाँ पर एक filter रहता है. There's an osmotic gradient, and it not only pulls out the toxins, it pulls out the salts, and it also pulls out the water. The water, when it gets pulled out, उसको बोलते हैं ultrafiltrate, and then you pull out all the toxins. वहाँ पर usually हम लोग कैसे नापते हैं? अगर एक patient का वजन है about 62, okay, suppose 62.5 kilos he presents, तो हमें पता है कि उसका last weight था 60 kilos. तो हमको अभी निकालना पड़ेगा 2.5 liters of water. So this is an average kind of an assessment. Patient का ideal body weight नाप के हम लोग उतना पानी निकालते हैं. And depending on the chronicity of the disease or the lifestyle of a patient, we do recommend various life strategies in terms of nutritional requirements, in terms of physical requirements. Based on that, it depends. अगर patient compliant है, it becomes easy. uncompliant है तो it becomes difficult. I have seen patients on dialysis for almost even close to 30 years. That's the amazing part. वो लोग अपने काम कर रहे हैं, अपना काम कर रहे हैं, आ रहे जा रहे हैं. अगर आप इसी पिक्चर में, if you see that girl, girl के हाथ में you have two lines. But to do dialysis on the patient, you have to create something called as a fistula, AV fistula. वो बनाने के बाद ही, so fistula is done by either by a vascular surgeon or by a urologist. वो फिस्टुला बन के उसको एटलीस्ट 3 या 4 हफ्ते लगते हैं उसको सेटल होने में. इट बिकम्स अलाइव, इट बिकम्स एक्टिव एंड देयर इज अ ब्रूई फेल्ट. वो होने के बाद ही हम लोग पेशेंट को डायलिसिस पे रख सकते हैं. उसके पहले अगर हमें फिस्टुला नहीं बन पाया तो वी यूज द बिग वेन्स इन द बॉडी, आइदर द वेन इन द नेक or the vein in the groin region. We use the thick veins for doing dialysis. Next slide, Ritika. Thank you. So now patients we have a patient, okay, now who has come up and who's found an ideal donor. So we talk about kidney transplants. Kidney transplant trivia, historically, Joseph Murray and Hartwell Harrison, these are doctors, performed the first ever successful kidney transplant between identical twins in 1954. ये Boston, USA में हुआ था. Interestingly, this is a fact even today. अगर twins के बीच में अगर आप kidney donate कर रहे हो, they do not require any immunosuppressive therapy. उनको जरूरत नहीं पड़ेगा. आज भी today also, even if there are twins donating their organs to each other for survival basis, the disease may not replicate in the other twin, but there is no immunosuppression required. Next slide, please. Yes. Transplant types. You have a deceased donor, you have an expanded donor criteria, you have a living donor. Deceased donor, somewhere where you can recover organs because he's suffering from brain death. Cardiac death se revive ho gaya, agar brain death ho gaya to, and the organs are in normal physiological working condition, maintaining all the criteria, he becomes a deceased donor or a brain dead donor. Expanded criteria donor. This is the terminology used. A deceased donor over the age of 60. Usually, over the age of 60, they'll be battling chronic diseases if they have any. There are quite a few people who do not battle any diseases, and they will be able to donate their organs once consented. Living donor, a person who donates an organ for live transplantation when you have a living donor. These are the basic transplant types that we have in our systems today. Checklist for processing. We have Rotarian Goel ji भी इसके बारे में काफी सारा बात कर चुके हैं, बहुत पेपर वर्क है. We've had 1 or 2 speakers, donors also on our Rotary Club forum where they spoke about it. उनका काफी सारा रहता है. This will be parked with one of the this activity will be done by one of the resident doctors or one of the associates of that particular team, wherein you need to create authorization letters, give affidavits, try to create a family structure, give ID proofs, permanent address proof. आपको देना पड़ेगा. उनके काफी सारे forms है because the state, the NOTO has to be involved, the SOTO has to be involved, and the local district coordinators have to be involved. Primarily within the recipient and within the donor, आपका HLA, blood grouping, cross matching, सब कुछ हो जाना चाहिए. So this is a whole lot of things involved. Recently, we had invited Mrs. Dakshayani Shetty. She had donated her kidney to her sister-in-law. So, and she expressed, even Lal Goelji sir was also talking about the same thing. You know, it took about 11 months for her to manage all the paperwork. It depends group to group basis. Whereas right now, as we speak in the US, even it's a non-related donor, it is just a couple of weeks, it's just weeks away. You can sort the donation things out. So this is a huge checklist for processing. I mean, this will probably be a 1-hour session by itself permanently. Yes, next slide, Ritika. Now, what is kidney transplant? अगर आप ये पिक्चर देखा जाए तो अगर आप देख रहे हो वहां पर ऊपर के 2 किडनीज हैं, दे विल बी द नॉर्मल किडनीज. अगर किडनीज में इंफेक्शन है तो उस किडनीज को डॉक्टर निकालेंगे. अगर किडनी फॉर सम मेडिकल और सम कंजेनिटल किडनी फॉर सम कंजेनिटल रीजन किडनी काम नहीं कर रहा है तो वो उस किडनीज को यूजुअली डॉक्टर निकालते, छूते भी नहीं है. नीचे वाला जो आप किडनी देख रहे हो, तीसरा किडनी, दैट इज अ ट्रांसप्लांटेड किडनी. किडनी ट्रांसप्लांट वहां पर होता है, नीचे के भाग में होता है जहां पर हमारा यूरिनरी ब्लैडर रहता है. This is a commonest procedure done today. On an average in Mangalore right now, we see about 7 to 10 transplants happening per week in different centers. It's a very good thing. It's a very positive thing which is happening. Post-transplant usually क्या होता है? Patient has to be on immunosuppressive therapy for life. It is not for 1 or 2 months, for life. And he has to go for his constant checkups. Does he have to go under dialysis once transplanted? Answer is no. There is no dialysis post-transplant. But so they have 3-drug immunosuppressive therapy, 2-drug immunosuppressive therapy. They have steroid minimization techniques. Well, these are all medical terminologies required. But primarily, agar kisi ko kidney mil raha hai, so that is the place the kidney gets, the receiver gets a kidney implanted in that particular, transplanted in that particular position. Next slide, please. Yes. We talk about kidney transplants in India. Now, there's a huge gap between patients who need transplants and the organs that are available in India. We all know that. An estimated around 1.8 to 2.5 lakh persons suffer from renal failure every year. And however, the number of renal transplants done are around within 8,000 only in our country. Cost, even presently with Ayushman Bharat, they have entitled this cost under that. So the average cost is coming up to 5 to 7 lakhs in very, very good centers. Post-transplant, yes, they will need to be on treatment for life. They will need to be on preventive prophylaxis in terms of antimicrobial therapy, antibiotic therapy maybe. They'll have to take something. They'll have to look after their hydration and manage the thing very well. While most kidney transplants in India are usually between the age of 45 to 65, there is no upper age limit. And there's a 90 to 95% success rate, which is very, very good. And yes, one person can undergo multiple renal transplants. If the first transplant fails, on special condition, he can undergo a second transplant, third. I think maximum 3rd or 4th transplant can happen in these patients. But now these are special cases wherein the patient will have to be reassessed, rechecked, re-diagnosed, re-understood, so that he doesn't go under constant high-dose immunosuppressive therapy, so that he manages it very well. Next slide, please. Yeah, next one. So why organ donation? Organ donation prevents medical conditions. Yes, it reverses the condition. If somebody with chronic kidney disease on dialysis for a long period of time, you prevent the further conditions, and other solid organ diseases are prevented. It saves a lot of money. If you see a patient on dialysis, you see the food habits that he has to maintain and the lifestyle, the amount of water that he can only drink. I mean, usually they're restricted to like 1 to 1.5 liters of water per day. And the different pains that they have, it gets very, very cumbersome and is laborious. So in the long term, if you see, organ donation does save money. Organ donations prevents a lot of suffering within the family. Organ donation provides a second chance of life. We have families on our forum also who stand as testimony for that. Organ donation raises awareness to the cause. This is the prime focus of Rotary Club of Organ Donation International. The more we talk about it, the more we create awareness, the more we win. Organ donation is a humanitarian act. Organ donation can be addressed by the media. It creates new opportunities for the disabled. It's great for research projects, enables them to live happier, and also reduces their mortality or death rate. Recent advances. Now, what is happening is this is the latest happening in science. I just thought I'll put up a slide for awareness. You have something called as an artificial kidney. Artificial kidney, like we have a dialysis machine, it's a huge one. You have portable, they're working on portable artificial kidneys right now. There is one other factor which has come called as home dialysis. This happens, I have a friend who's running a business model like this in Dubai right now. So you have small dialysis machines which can cater to home dialysis. So patient is at the comfort and convenience of their homes. He is not finding a valid donor. So he undergoes dialysis at night in the evenings. Usually after he finishes work, he comes back at home and he does the dialysis at home. The variable kidney. This is a lot of research is going on in this phase because of the gene therapy, the gene pools and stuff like that. Immune tolerance therapies. If there are diseases of the kidney in which the kidney gets killed because of an immune reaction. So there are immunotherapies which are coming in right now, which will salvage or prevent the deterioration of the kidney by and large, and you can maintain that kidney. You may require dialysis support in between, but mainly it just balances. We talk about something called a xenotransplantation. Xenotransplantation ये बात है कि we're using an animal kidney in a human being. Recently क्या हुआ था in I think this is about just within the last 1 month, last 4 weeks में, there was a senior patient, a senior person who had a brain death because of an accident. He was pronounced brain dead in the US. A team of doctors took permission from the family and they transplanted a porcine or a pig kidney into the person. And they saw how he was managing. He had a kidney problem also. And then the responses were amazing. The patient was managing his kidney profile pretty well, even with the porcine renal transplant, which is called a xenotransplantation. Well, probably a week later, he succumbed because of the brain injury, or the brain deteriorated even further with the brainstem injury. But a lot of work is going on because obviously we cannot do live samples on human beings right now. It is not permissible. But that is something which we're working on. If there's a shortage of kidneys, xenotransplantation is going to be the answer for the future. Next slide, please. Yes. So on a final note, kidney healthy lifestyle. What do we need to do? Please keep active and fit. Manage your blood sugars and your blood pressure. Very, very important. Learn to manage your weight. Eat a balanced diet with a diet low in fat, salt, and animal protein. Drink plenty of water throughout the day, about 2 to 3 liters. By and large, most of us don't even achieve these numbers, we know. Do not smoke. And be aware of over-the-counter pills you take. This is one of the commonest causes of renal failure that we see happening. For example, in India, we have found anything available over the counter, or you pay extra money, you get. Especially painkillers, number one. For example, you see the range of NSAIDs, non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs. We talk about diclofenac, aceclofenac. Patients constantly use them. I will not say abuse them. They say that you take a diclofenac, amazing pain relief, my joint pain is gone. My ankle pain is gone. Now what happens is, not being aware, they take it continuously every day over years. Gradually, it affects the renal functioning, and there is a high grade of renal insufficiency seen. Same thing, the recent studies have come out with a drug called as pantoprazole. It's an antacid drug. Pantoprazole is available over the counter, but chronic usage of this drug even does cause renal failure. I'll not say within 1 or 2 years, but almost 8 to 10 years of constant abuse of the drug, taking it every single day, does cause renal insufficiency problems. So prevention matters. Thank you so much. And the last slide. After that, there's one. Yes, organ donation matters, and Rotary Club of Organ Donation International will be there for you. Thank you so much, everybody.
Thank you very much, Dr. Monis. You have really explained in a very, very systematic, scientific way. आपने जिस तरह explain किया, मैं सोचता हूँ हमारे members को क्योंकि काफी शिकायत आती थी members से कि आप properly नहीं बता रहे हो कि क्या है, तो आज आपने बहुत अच्छे ढंग से explain किया है, काफी कुछ समझ में आ गया होगा. टाइम थोड़ा शॉर्ट है, इसलिए मैं हर एक मेंबर से रिक्वेस्ट करूंगा, जिसे भी प्रश्न पूछना है सिर्फ एक प्रश्न पूछें, छोटा प्रश्न पूछें, जिससे कि सब लोग प्रश्न पूछ सकें. काफी लोगों को इसमें हो सकता है प्रश्न पूछना. प्रमोद महाजन जी पूछना चाहे थे, पहले आपको मैं चांस दे रहा हूं. प्रमोद महाजन पूछिए, जल्दी से पूछिए अपना प्रश्न.
सर, मेरा प्रश्न ये है कि एक ब्लड मैचिंग क्यों मांगता है?
सर, आपकी आवाज ठीक तरह से आ नहीं रही है सर.
आपकी आवाज साफ नहीं है. आपने पूछा ब्लड मैचिंग का जरूरत है क्या, ये पूछना चाह रहे हैं आप महाजन जी? हाँ. क्या ब्लड मैचिंग की जरूरत है अब आज की तारीख में किडनी ट्रांसप्लांट में, डॉक्टर मोनिस?
सर, ब्लड मैचिंग का बहुत जरूरत है. यू हैव टू हैव ब्लड मैचिंग एंड हैपनिंग इवन विद HLA टाइपिंग सर. इन एक्सट्रीम कंडीशंस, इफ यू हैव लाइक एन AB नेगेटिव ब्लड, हो सकता है that because the kidney will not react, but blood matching will be one of the basic tests to be done.
पर उसमें आपने एक और जो चीज बताई, अब जो नई चीज आई है कि इंडिया में अलाउ किया हुआ है स्वैप किडनी ट्रांसप्लांट, तो उसमें अगर एक का मैच नहीं होता है एक रिलेटिव का, तो दूसरे का हो जाता है, तो उसको वो स्वैप करके कर सकते हैं.
स्वैप करके कर सकते हैं. यस सर.
तो ये एक्सक्यूज जो लोग जनरली एक्सक्यूज लेते हैं, जो मेरे पे भी फोन आते हैं, वो ये कहते हैं कि साहब हमारा किडनी नहीं मैच कर रहा है, वो गलत है। ब्लड का पहले होता था, लेकिन अब वो उन्होंने अलाउ कर दिया है, क्योंकि अगर ए का किडनी उसके रिलेटिव से मैच नहीं हो रहा है और बी के किडनी उसके रिलेटिव से मैच नहीं हो रहा, लेकिन बी के रिलेटिव्स का किडनी ए से मैच हो रहा है और ए का बी से मैच हो रहा है, तो वो अलाउड है क्रॉस। और इसमें चेन भी चलता है, ए बी सी डी ई, इस तरह भी चेन में भी हमने देखा कि इस तरह होता है। तो अब वो ब्लड मैचिंग का एक्सक्यूज लेना अगर कोई लेता है वो गलत है। थैंक यू वेरी मच प्रमोद महाजन जी। मैं देख रहा हूँ दीपेन शाह जी, रोटेन दीपेन शाह ने अपना हाथ उठाया हुआ है। यस, आप क्या क्वेश्चन पूछना चाह रहे हैं? रोटेन दीपेन शाह, प्लीज आस्क योर क्वेश्चन।
No, it was hello everyone, Mr. Goel and everyone. No, good morning. It was earlier I raised my hand, now it is still there somehow. But I am good. Wonderful presentation, very simple, very nice. Only thing at the end, I may chime in with the latest surgery on total human eye. So at the end, one sentence. But you continue, please.
Okay, okay. I think Rupa Arora ji ne हाथ उठाया. Yes, Rupa Arora ji, please ask your question. Rotarian Rupa Arora.
नहीं सर, बहुत अच्छा सेशन था आज का। इसके बारे में काफी कुछ मैं जानती भी थी। रीजन ये था कि जो मेरे अभी 3 नवंबर को वो एक्सपायर हुए हैं, वो सीकेडी पेशेंट थे काफी सालों से। तो पिछले 3 महीने से वो डायलिसिस पर थे, बट एज उनकी 86 होने के कारण मतलब उनकी बॉडी जो है बेयर नहीं कर पाई। और लास्ट 15 डेज वो आईसीयू में रहे, डायलिसिस में रहे।
Yes, yes.
So you know,
we are sorry for that.
Sorry for that.
Rotarian Dr. Monis, now जो इन्होंने क्वेश्चन जो एक बात कही है, I want to ask this in question form. What is the upper age limit for a recipient? Because donor, तो there is no limit. 95 years people have, a person has also donated, living donation.
Yes, sir.
But what about the recipient, especially in India? Whether it, like she said, 86 years CST. So India में कुछ upper age limit है recipient के लिए?
This again, speaking on those grounds, they will check on the structures or even the other organ structures. अगर उसको cardiac, ischemic heart disease है, ये problem है, he is a past case of stroke, he doesn't qualify for the surgery. Now, अगर he is disease free, he is doing very well, his EF is good, ejection fraction heart का ठीक है, उसका liver ठीक से काम कर रहा है. So I don't think there's an upper age limit which has been characterized for that.
Okay, thank you very much. Yes,
Thank
any
you,
other questions? Please ask free. Please ask your question. आप अपना प्रश्न पूछिए जिसे पूछना है.
Sir, can a female member donate to the male persons?
Yes, ma'am. They can donate.
They can donate.
They can donate. There are criteria in terms of matching. Your HLA, blood group, all this typing matching happens. You can donate, ma'am.
Supposing
actually,
they are having a kid,
no
kid
problem.
is there.
No problem.
No problem.
You are having a child. You are having 3 children, and you are at least 35 or 45 years old. We had one of our guests, ma'am, recently, Mrs. Dakshayani Shetty. She is in her late mid 50s, and she's got two grown-up boys right now. Elder fellow's finished engineering, younger one is doing medicine, and she donated to her sister-in-law, and she's doing very well right now. You can.
Thank you. Yeah. Yes, Dr. Shah, Dr. Saran.
Very good presentation, Dr. Monis.
Thank you, sir.
Now I am willing to know, like in case of eye, there was a window of 6 to 8 hours.
Yes.
Is there any such restriction in case of kidney as well?
So what happens is you have a case called as brain death. When you have a brain death patient, anything above the neck is in a stunned phase. Nothing works. But below the neck, it works. So you can keep the body alive as long as the heart is pumping. You can keep him alive for even a week, but maintain them physiologically. But once the patient is dead, the blood supply doesn't go into the kidney. Patient is dead. You cannot use the organ, sir. So a dead or a deceased patient, you cannot use the organ. You can use the eye. Yes, it's a tissue. Like how Purushottam Ji has told, it is a bloodless tissue. That is the pure advantage. Blood itself, when it is not being pumped and stagnated, acts as a toxin. Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you very much. Yes, any other question? Anyone? Yes.
I would like to ask a question. So Dr. Rohan Monis, you talked about how one person can undergo multiple transplant surgeries.
Yes.
So in that case, I mean, he has to find a new donor every time, or that same kidney that he got,
No, yes,
you
he
know,
finds a new donor.
he finds a new donor, and then you actually displace the kidney, you implant it first, and then
Yes,
plant at the same location.
you'll have to use that, or you'll have to use a different location if this kidney is dead. But you'll have to find out what is the reason that his kidney got knocked off again. Was it infectious? And if the kidney continues to ooze out infection, you'll have to pluck it out and then transplant on a different site. Yes.
Okay. And is it an issue regarding compatibility, wherein the compatibility of the new kidney for the body may be an issue, or
It could
can be
happen.
any other?
It could happen. What is happening is the human body always, there's something called a graft versus host reaction. So anything foreign put, for example, even if a patient undergoes angioplasty, right, you put a stent in the coronary vessel. For the body, it's a foreign body.
Right.
But what happens is they've made it very inert. It doesn't react in that massive fashion because it is coated very well. So a lot of research has gone into that. But now we're putting a live tissue, a working tissue. So body does react. So you have to use immunosuppressive measures. You use like a 3-drug. You use mycophenolate, you use a lot of steroids. You reduce the immunity. Some drugs. They use 3-drug or 2-drug regimen, commonly used in India. And to maintain that, to maintain the sanity. And this patient will have to continue that. Now, for example, he takes the drugs, and what happens is patient develops UTI for some reason.
Okay.
Now he will have to be on antimicrobial therapy again. Now, because of immunosuppression, you have a lot of viral agents which keep attacking him. One of the commonest thing is cytomegalovirus. So you have to do him anti-CMV measures, So this is going to be like a medical talk. But then, this is how, because of
that's why Dr. Monis, COVID में सबसे ज़्यादा जो risk factor में थे वो लोग थे जिन्होंने kidney transplant, dialysis patients थे क्योंकि वो लोग इस drug पे थे. My question is one. Yes, anyone else? Otherwise, I will ask.
इसी में एक और चीज, because so many people are actually afraid to even think about donation because they feel incompatibility is also an issue, wherein they feel that even if I donate, what if it doesn't go compatible? Then that's what
No, you have actually amazing battery of tests available today. And if you are actually incompatible, doctor will not touch your kidney. Simple.
That ways.
And even if the kidney donor wants to give, but it will cause harm to the donor, the doctors will not pluck it out. No way.
Yes, Mr. Pradeep.
Dr. Monis, compliments to you, having
Thank
brought
you,
out a very knowledgeable and very in-depth who can donate and who cannot donate. Kidney is one of the major failure which is happening and requirement in the society as of today. You also said about diabetes. Now, in the majority of the Indians are getting diabetes.
Yes.
Is the diabetes person can also give the kidney?
Yes, sir. Diabetic person can give the kidney if his kidneys are not compromised. You have diabetics who maintain the kidney functions very well, sir. And they'll be checked. If he maintains that, he can be a donor. Even presently, the research has gone so much, an HIV person having a normal renal function can donate his kidney to an HIV patient.
Because in India, the diabetes is going so fast.
Yes, sir. You are right.
80% people are going to be diabetic
You're
one way or other. Then
You're
the problem will come about the kidney. Who can donate it? Even family member. Even if they want to donate, they cannot do that.
Because the gap is going to be really huge, really huge.
Yeah.
We're working on
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay. Now my question to you, Dr. Monis, is, anyone else? किसी को पूछना है? Okay, my question to you is, there is a living donor and another is a brain dead donor. Now the kidney taken from the living donor means the family, or the brain dead donor. Which kidney will be more sustainable or going to be lasting more and less complication for the recipient?
So there is no problem like that. Even if the brain dead donor will be the first priority, if he's maintaining normal physiological conditions. Sir, actually, to be honest, the first patient I handled in Apollo hospitals when I was there in Apollo Health City, Hyderabad, was a patient with a renal transplant. And he got a kidney from a brain dead boy who was just about 26 years old. One of the vessels in his brain ruptured, brain dead, and within the next 36 hours, all his organs were donated. The priority will be on this. If all the matching takes place, everything happens, brain dead will be fine, no problem. Because, so what we do for the brain dead, we have to ventilate, give IV fluids, maintain no antibiotic zone for him, ensure he doesn't have raise of temperature, no infections, no drop of blood pressure, heart is pumping well, you're fine. He can be a potential donor for us. And once donated, he can lead a very normal life. There is no age restriction like within 20 years or 30 years. He can lead a normal life.
So there is no difference between living or the brain dead?
No, sir.
Okay.
There's no difference.
Thank you. Any other
Thank you, sir.
questions, please? Okay, I think people have understood you.
Mrs. Rupa Arora is raising her
Yeah,
hand.
yeah. Are you asking question, Rupa ji?
यस सर, एक अमेजिंग बात मैं आप लोगों से शेयर करना चाहती हूँ। एक पर्सन है, मतलब किडनी रेसिपिएंट हैं, जिनको मैं पर्सनली जानती हूँ अमेरिका से। उनको 45 इयर्स हो चुके हैं किडनी रिसीव किए हुए, और वो एक मतलब नॉर्मल लाइफ लीड कर रहे हैं।
जी, इट्स वेरी वेरी गुड। यस, इवन रूपा जी, जो इन्होंने डॉक्टर मोनिस ने स्टार्टिंग में स्लाइड में बताया था कि जो फर्स्ट ट्रांसप्लांट हुआ था ट्विन्स का यूएस में, उसमें से एक की डेथ 2010 में हुई थी। तो आप सोचिए कि 1954 से 2010 में, तो इतने इयर्स का रहा है। और सेकेंडली, माय ओन अंकल, मैटरनल अंकल गॉट द किडनी फ्रॉम माय मैटरनल आंट, एंड दिस वाज डन इन 1982। बल्कि उनके लड़के हमारे मेंबर भी हैं, वो आज नहीं आए हैं फ्रॉम यूएसए। सो हिज the maternal aunt is still alive, that we are in 2023, and she donated her kidney in 1982. So there are lots of cases. myth बहुत है, लेकिन हम लोगों के यहाँ सोसाइटी में वो सब myth गलत है कि किडनी देने के बाद बहुत कुछ हो जाएगा, ऐसा कुछ नहीं है। And we have our own Mr. Pramod Mahajan. Pramod Mahajan is there, I think he's there. इन्होंने किडनी दी थी, और ये तो मोटरसाइकिल पे सब जगह जा रहे हैं। कोलकाता में अगर कॉन्फ्रेंस होगी वहां भी जाएंगे, तो यू कैन मीट हिम आल्सो। तो देयर इज लॉट्स ऑफ मिथ, बट आई एम श्योर कि टुडेज दिस प्रोग्राम हैज गिवन लॉट्स ऑफ इंफॉर्मेशन। जिसको भी जरा भी कोई और भी इंफॉर्मेशन चाहिए या और क्वेश्चंस पूछने हैं, दे कैन सेंड ऑन व्हाट्सएप टू मी और टू रोटेरियन रितिका गुप्ता, और इवन इफ दे वांट, देन आई कैन शेयर द नंबर ऑफ Dr. Monis. If they have any specific question, they can very well ask. Thank you very much. और our endeavor is, हमारा कोशिश ये रहेगी कि हम हर मीटिंग में कोई ऐसे लोगों को लाएं। ये जरूरी नहीं कि एक्सपर्ट ही आए, क्योंकि एक्सपर्ट्स तो हमारे यहाँ लिमिटेड है। जो और भी मेंबर्स हैं जो ये बता सकें कि किस तरह और हम अपने ऑर्गन डोनेशन, रोटरी क्लब ऑफ ऑर्गन डोनेशन इंटरनेशनल को टेक्नोलॉजी से या और किसी चीज से किस तरह पब्लिक की और क्लोज लाएं, जिससे हम मिथ्स को दूर करें। क्योंकि सबसे बड़ी बात है अवेयरनेस दूर होने का, और दूसरा है कि किस तरह इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर दूर हो। थैंक यू वेरी मच। नाउ टाइम इज फॉर 0 hour, so over to Rotarian Ritika Gupta.
Declaring the floor open for 0 hour, 0 time for question and answers. So if there's anyone who would like to ask any other question regarding any upcoming events that we have in our club or anything, as Mr. Goel already has informed that the Kolkata plan is still to be finalized. However, Mumbai chapter is still on. So, Mr. Goel, if you could just add a little bit more information about it.
Yeah. But let anyone wants to speak anything. कुछ पूछना चाहेंगे या कुछ और चीज बात करना चाहेंगे, कर सकते हैं। दीपक अग्रवाल जी, मैं आपको देख रहा हूं, लेकिन आपने अपना वीडियो बंद किया हुआ है। आपके जो 2 फ्रेंड्स हैं वो नहीं आते हैं, उन्हें कहिए रेगुलर आया करें। आज का प्रोग्राम इतना, अभी जो हमारे 3 प्रोग्राम्स हुए हैं वेरी इंफॉर्मेटिव। एक तो था जिसमें कि दीपन शाह जी ने बताया था अबाउट स्किन डोनेशन, और अभी लास्ट में हमारे पुरुषोत्तम पवार जी ने बताया था अबाउट आई डोनेशन, और आज का डॉक्टर मोनिस ने बताया। सो वी आर गोइंग टू टेक ऑल दिस ऑर्गन्स एंड टिश्यूज वन बाय वन। Missing or any this session is very it's not a good thing for the members, क्योंकि अगर आप लोग नहीं अवेयर होंगे बाकी लोगों को कैसे बताएंगे। बट आई विल रिक्वेस्ट रोटेरियन रितिका गुप्ता की एटलीस्ट जो ये 3 प्रोग्राम्स हुए हैं इनकी रिकॉर्डिंग्स को वो ग्रुप में डालें, जिससे कि एडवांटेज में। मेरे को रिक्वेस्ट आती है काफी लोगों से कि हमें रिकॉर्डिंग, वो वाली रिकॉर्डिंग चाहिए, तो अगर वो डाल दें तो अदर्स कैन आल्सो सी कि what has happened. So
I'll share it tonight itself.
या सो दिस इज जो आज तक हुआ है वो ये हुआ है। आगे का जैसे मैंने बताया कि अब अगला साल जो आ रहा है उसमें हमें काफी मेहनत भी करनी है, काफी ढंग से। शादियां बहुत हो चुकी हैं, अब मेरे ख्याल से अभी भी आज भी कोई कह रहा था विवाह पंचमी है, तो हमारे कुछ मेंबर शादी में गए हुए हैं। शादियां तो जिंदगी भर चलती रहेंगी, लेकिन ये सोचना चाहिए
जिंदगी भर नहीं चलती प्रेसिडेंट साहब, एक ही बार होती है।
हम शादियों सॉरी
मैंने कहा प्रेसिडेंट साहब, शादी केवल एक ही बार होती है, बार बार नहीं होती।
नहीं, तो मौत भी एक ही बार आती है। तो
तो वही
कोशिश ये करना चाहिए कि मौत आने से पहले हम लोग सजग हो जाएं, क्योंकि इंडिया का जो रेशियो है डोनेशन का वो बहुत कम है, और रिसीव करने का जो आपका प्रोपोजिशन है, जो प्रोबेबिलिटी है, वो बहुत ज्यादा है। तो ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए कि कल हम ये सोचें कि अभी तो शादियां अटेंड करनी है, अभी तो हमें बर्थडे अटेंड करनी है, हमें फंक्शंस अटेंड करने हैं। हमें ये भी सोचना है कि कल अगर इस तरह का कोई इंसिडेंट किसी के, जैसे रूपा जी हैं या हमारे महाजन जी हैं, जो जिन्होंने ये फेस किया है, उस वक्त शादियां कहाँ गई, उस वक्त बर्थडे कहाँ गई, उस वक्त सोशल इवेंट्स कहाँ गए? हर एक क्या होना है। इसलिए मैं बार बार एम्फेसिस देता हूं। मैं जानता हूं मेरी बात कड़वी लगती है, बुरा भी लगता है, लेकिन ये मान के चलिए कि वो ये अटल सत्य है, मौत को कोई नहीं टाल सकता। शादी टल सकती है, शादी टूट सकती है, ना मौत टूट सकती है, ना मौत बदल सकती है। मौत तो आनी है। हमें कोशिश करनी चाहिए कि हम ज्यादा से ज्यादा लोग मीटिंग में आए, समझें, और नहीं समझ में आता है तो हम कांटेक्ट करें दोबारा और कोशिश करें समझने की। अगर हम आप नहीं समझेंगे तो कौन इस जागृत करेगा इस समाज को? मैं जितनी कोशिश कर रहा हूं, आप सबसे भी मैं आग्रह करता हूं, और मैं सोचता हूं कि आप लोग कर सकते हैं। हाँ, 2 चीज मैं जरूर कहना चाहूंगा। मेरे लिए कंप्लेंट आई है कि आप काफी डिक्टेट करते हैं। मैं डिक्टेट नहीं करता हूं, पर मैं सोचता हूं कि अब हम उस एज पे आ चुके हैं। हमारा काम ये है कि अगर हम अभी भी नहीं थोड़ा बताएंगे, और अगर अभी भी हम संकोच में रहेंगे ये सोच के कि ये लोग बुरा मान जाएंगे, तो वो नहीं चलेगा। हमारा ये जैसे कहते हैं ना, जब सर्जरी की जरूरत आती है तब आदमी ये नहीं सोचता कि पेशेंट को अच्छा लग रहा है या बुरा लग रहा है, या उसके रिलेटिव्स को अच्छा लग रहा है बुरा लग रहा है। सर्जरी है तो करनी है। हमारा जो क्लब है ये सर्जिकल क्लब है। ये जो कॉस्मेटिक्स बिल्ड वो देते हैं पिल्स वगैरह, वो नहीं है। वी हैव टू डू सर्जरी, और हमें सर्जरी अगर करनी है तो किसी की हमें बुरा भी लगता हो तो उससे हमें कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ना चाहिए। हमें अपना काम करते रहना चाहिए। बाकी तो जितनी हम करेंगे उतना ही रिटर्न मिलेगा। तो प्रदीप जी, जो आप कह रहे हैं ना, शादियां बिल्कुल एक ही बार होती है, लेकिन आगे भी हमें बहुत कुछ ध्यान रखना है। और मैंने ऐसे ऐसे परिवार भी देखे हैं जिनके यहाँ शादी तय हो चुकी थी, और जब उसके वक्त उनके यहाँ इस तरह की प्रॉब्लम आई तब वो सब भूल गए, शादियां भी पोस्टपोन्ड हो गई, शादियां भी सब टल गई। हमने भी देखा है, सबने देखा है। तो कोशिश कीजिए कि मीटिंग को ये मान के चलिए बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है। भले ही आप 5-10 मिनट के लिए जुड़े, कम से कम हमें लगता है कि आप लोग जुड़े हुए हैं, तो हमें साहस आता है और नए मेंबर बनाने के लिए। नहीं तो डर लगता है कि कहीं और मेंबर भी हमें इसी तरह पीछे गालियां देंगे तो जो जिंदगी बचे वो और ना कम हो जाए। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद मेरी ओर से। ओवर टू यू, रोटेरियन रितिका जी।
Thank you
So
very
before
much.
closing,
Yeah,
I just
please,
want to thank.
Mr. Monas, go ahead.
No, I just want to thank Ritika for helping me with the presentation.
Thank you
Thank
very
you,
much.
Rotarian
No
Ritika.
problem at all. I am glad it could reach me in time. If it hadn't, it
It's
would have
really
been
fantastic, sir. It was very informative.
Thank you,
very
Hema madam.
nice.
Fantastic.
Very, very nice to hear. All right. Thank you very much, Dr. Rohan Monas, for this wonderful conduction of the session, detailed information about kidney transplant. I now request Rotarian Hemalata Bhandari ji to please give a vote of thanks.
Certainly, you're telling.
Yeah, but very brief. Whatever you thought about the session.
Actually, Dr. Rohan Monas has given about the kidney donation presentation very well. And Mr. Govilji told about 2 times he had presentation he had in Mathura and 1 time in Noida. And about he also told about they are going to start the multi-organ donation facility center. And we all have to donate, I think, for that. Whatever is possible, definitely we'll do for that. And then actually, Dr. Monas has given about the function of kidneys. Really, it is very amazing, and so many things we don't know. And he has explained so well. And also he explained about the cause of the chronic renal failure and checklist for the procedures. It is very useful like that. And we had a really wonderful session. I think it will be very useful, and definitely we'll do for the organization, for our organ donation.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Hemalata ji. Also, just a little update for everyone here that I'm just going to ask anyone to give a vote of thanks. So please just be around at the session, and it will be great if anyone can turn on their cameras.
Can I ask one small question?
Please go ahead.
He is with to Calcutta, Dr. Mahajan. how much it is. Somebody was telling 2 times they're going to give the petrol charges. So even I want to donate 1-time petrol charge for him.
So one-time petrol charge already Rotarian Deepan Shah has already and Rotarian Jigna Shah has already said last time. So one side they are giving. So if you are ready to give for the one side, I think that is a very, very great
Yeah,
thing.
I want to give. I want to give. Sir.
We all must clap. And this is the spirit. This is what we want. हम ये चाहते हैं कि हमारे members में ये spirit आए. तो Rotarian प्रमोद महाजन जी बहुत-बहुत आपको शुभकामनाएं कि आपको आने जाने का दोनों का पेट्रोल का इंतजाम हो गया है.
Just mention how much, sir. So I will.
Yeah, we will do that. अभी जाए एक बार final हो जाए कलकत्ता का फिर करते हैं. Okay, so thank you very much, and I adjourn the meeting.
Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Good night.
Thank you.